I don't think I'm working as hard as I should be in terms of online content. I'm gonna give context, because I release daily videos on Penuel the Black Pen. I release weekly videos on the Virtual Nkuku. Every now and then, two videos. The Penuel Show releases one video a week. And for those that don't know, I've got a lot of content that is kind of piled up that is going to be released over time. With the Penuel Show, there's interviews, conversations I've had that you guys are still going to see that have already been shot. And then with my own channel, there's like a bunch of content that I've shot that you guys haven't seen. So from doing interviews, consistency, I think I'm kind of there, which is cool. But I don't think I'm doing enough from a production perspective and regarding other things. So number one, I don't think I spend enough time fully understanding and appreciating the YouTube platform and understanding the algorithms, so that I can maximize the best time to drop, the best dates to drop, the best length, of video to drop so that I maximize ad revenue. And then things like color grading, what type of lighting is best. I don't know if people like, oh, Mr. Beast used to go as far as actually even checking if there's a certain type of voice, that works. Maybe people prefer masculine voice. Maybe some people prefer more softer, feminine voice. I don't know. And I know obviously the CPMs, the rates we earn for ad views are very different around the world, with America and Europe, I think the UK earning the most, and we don't really do that well in South Africa. The maths that I've done tells me that for my videos, for the views, I get about 4 cents to 8 cents per view. And this view obviously is a view of the ad in the video. Some of the longer format videos have 2 or more ads. So those ones are the ones that on average do like 8 cents. So if you do something like 10,000 views on a video, you're looking at maybe making 400 Rand to 800 Rand per video. It's not a lot of money. For anyone that understands creating content and chasing views, at least, getting to 10,000 views is no small feat. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Getting 10,000 views is a lot. People get excited when they do 1,000 views, and if you've monetized your channel, that's 40 Rand to 80 Rand, depending on how many ads people watched and how much YouTube shared with you. But it's something I need to spend more time on if I'm going to be on this platform, if I'm going to be monetizing this platform, if I want to extract the most value and create the most value for people on this platform. I wrote a tweet where I was explaining this concept of 10,000 views, which is not easy, 400 to 800 Rand that you're looking to make as a monetized partner, and how a lot of us in the space would really like to empower other people with skills, would like to create jobs. If you look at a video, let's say a vodcast episode, 3 cameras would be ideal. 1 camera for the host, another camera for the guest, and then a 3rd camera to have a wide shot of the 2 of you. So 3 cameras. And you're looking at cameras brand new, good quality cameras of 25,000 Rand to 30,000 Rand each. So that's 75,000 to 90,000 Rand for the cameras alone. For microphones, you're looking at lower end for 2 microphones, maybe 1,000 Rand. For decent quality microphones, you're looking at 3,000. I think they come with a sound card. There's this little box that your microphones connect to, which kind of monitor that the sound is and capture the sound itself. I don't know if they come with the sound card. I'm not really a production guy, or if you have to buy that separately for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Then there's stands. Stands can be very expensive. I use, for example, what I'm shooting with here is a ring light, which you can get for 150 to 250 Rand, basic ring light. But if you want proper stands for cameras, you're looking at 500 to 3,000 Rand per stand. This is for your equipment, of course. This is excluding finding a studio. If you're going to be using a studio, you have to rent. Some studios, of course, the price includes the use of their equipment. Or you can film from home, or you can film outdoors. If you're filming at a cafe or restaurant, you probably have to order something, so that's going to be an extra cost. If you pay your guests for transport, or maybe you pay the guest for coming through, that's going to cost you some money. It's a lot of money to set up. Then there's the talent that needs to work. So a camera person or camera people, one or two that have to manage the camera, and they normally charge per rate. And for people in the industry, you're looking at 1,000 Rand to 3,000 Rand to 5,000 Rand per day for a call out to come and work per person. They can maybe do 1, 2, 3 videos, depending. Then there's someone who has to manage sound. And if you're lucky, there's a person or people that can manage your cameras and do the sound simultaneously. But for a sound person on their own, another 500 to 1,005 per day. If you are more monetized, if you are a big channel, you could have a co-host that you have to pay. You look at Podcast and Chill that has Saul Penduga, who has to get paid for his work. You look at someone like the Ghost Lady at the back, who gets paid. You might have someone like a fact checker, a researcher, someone who does production and makes sure that you guys have all your information, before you call the guest. Some people pay people that bring in guests. They socialites who are like, I can get you any celebrity you want. I can get you any politician you want. If you're looking for an academic in an institution, if you're looking for a business person, I can get you. And they get paid for the guests that they bring. Now, like I said, 10,000 views on YouTube. Whether you're using a phone like I'm doing now, whether you're using fancy cameras. I mean, if you look at some of the cameras we use on the Penwell show, those are really fancy industry cameras. They like for making movies and, it's because I've partnered with a production house that does other work. This is not YouTube money at all. That costs a lot of money. I had the pleasure of sitting with Joshua Rubin of the Wide Awake podcast in Cape Town. And he was explaining all the money he's made and how he's had to plow all of that back into his equipment. He works alone. He'd like to get help, but he can't afford it. So he does everything alone. The setting up of the set, the camera management, the sound, the guest, he does the interview, he does the editing afterwards. A lot of work. I forgot to mention editors. Editors can be anything from 300 to 500 to 800 to 2,000 Rand to 3,000 Rand per video. Making 400 Rand to 800 Rand, it's just not going to cut it. So I was making that tweet, or I was writing that tweet and I'm making this video to kind of highlight that, look, there are a lot of people that have skills that can manage cameras really well. There are a lot of people that can do sound pretty decently. There are a lot of people who are good editors. We see them on TikTok and other spaces where you look at, they take some of our videos, they put in sound, they put in the subtitles, or they put in captions. They mess around with the color grading and the filters. They might add pictures and other talent that I'd love to work with, that other content creators love to work with, but we can't afford them. So now we have to try and figure out, how do we work together? How do we find each other? And how do we have a sit down and be honest about, guys, this is how much money is being made. This is excluding sponsorships, of which a lot of platforms don't have sponsors, because a lot of the platforms are alternative to mainstream, which means a lot of us swear, a lot of us say supposedly controversial things, a lot of us interview people that are deemed unsavory characters. So a lot of brands don't want to work with us. A lot of people don't want to sponsor us. And sadly, government has not come to the party. They've got budgets, arts and culture. There are budgets for education, because some of the stuff we do is educational. There are budgets for political campaigning. There are budgets for profiling sports, So it's like, can we get some of that money? And currently, unfortunately, government is not coming to the party. And maybe we need to do better as content creators to try and engage and lobby to government to please give us some of the money so that we can put in the work. And obviously in time, maybe some of us will get onto mainstream platforms, MultiChoice and DSTV, SABC, ETV, but then we'll be forced to kind of behave, as mainstream does, but we'll get paid and it will be great. So I don't know. Saul Penduga's on Kaya FM now. Sizwe Mpofu Walsh, I think, is on SABC, but he's on a TV platform now. I know Podcast and Chill at some point was on Channel O, Channel 0. So it's tough. So I need you, we need you to come up with ideas and solutions. How do we share value? How do you bring your skills? Understanding that we generally don't get paid as the people doing the interviews. I do my own research. No one is paying me to buy books, to watch things, to read articles. No one. No one is paying me for my Wi-Fi and my time and my skill. No one is paying me for all the years I used to learn how to articulate myself. No one is paying me for my network and the people that I get to bring that are uniquely people that I managed to gain access to, whether because of business dealings, where I worked, where we went to school together, or because maybe they just like me. No one is paying me for that. Because if I was on mainstream TV for a call out, I'd be doing 3,500 to 5,000 to 10,000 Rand a day. But no one is paying me for that. I also have to share that 400 to 800 Rand in a 10,000 view video. Now, some of my videos do 5,000 views. That means I'm making 200 Rand to 400 Rand a video. And then I still need to pay other people, which we cannot afford. So how do we find each other? How do we work together? How do we share the little bit that we have? How do we look for cheats? Because currently I want to figure out how to film. Like I spoke about 3 cameras, but I want to film with 3 cell phones using ring lights, and find cheap ways to edit and find free studios or free spaces to film, like in someone's home, in a lounge, so we don't have to pay extra. Do I need to now go and do short courses to learn how to edit so that I film and I edit my own stuff so I don't have to pay anyone to edit for me? Which means I'm not creating jobs, sadly, which means I'm not putting certain people and especially young kids on so that they can learn, so that we can grow together. But I'd love to have my own team of like 5 to 10 people where we work and we share the little bit of money we have. We share food, we transport each other in the cars that we have, and we're like, let's work, guys. Let's give each other 5 to 10 years and get dope. And if there's opportunities for us to monetize elsewhere, please do it. If there's opportunities to network somewhere, please do it. Then at least, you've got MacG now who pays Saul Penduga, but at least it's almost subsidized by Kai FM because Saul got the platform to market his skills and Kai FM recruited him. So now at least he makes money there. You look at maybe if I'm doing certain work with DJ Spoo or elsewhere, where maybe people are like, look, we want to work with your production guys. So they get to make more money elsewhere. But we don't have the money. Some people are like, well, if you can't pay people what's fair, rather don't hire them. It's like, sure, of course, we won't hire them. But now kids are earning 0 instead of earning 100 Rand, 200 Rand, 500 Rand, growing their portfolio, networking, meeting people in the industry, and being able to say, I now have a portfolio of work. I've managed to buy myself some bread and I can network and get to higher honors. But you're saying we mustn't hire them because we can't afford them. It's kind of like a catch-22, and it's kind of like shooting ourselves in the foot and throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Bartering will always help where possible. Like, let's see what we can exchange. I'll feed you, I'll transport you, you can crash at my crib, but let's work. Maybe. But I know I need help, and I need people who are nerds like me, who are obsessed with creating great content, who are obsessed with being world-class. The money will come. If not the money, the recognition. If not the money, the recognition, the fame. If not the fame, then we will generate value in some way. There will be some business people out there. There will be some people with money out there who will say, look, we will give you a free studio to work from. I'm not sure if Podcast and Chill is paying now, David Mashabela Studios, King David Studios, because they film there. Or if it's an exchange, like, look, you can film here for free, but just give us a shout out. Some people are like, look, I'll do your research if you guys will feed me. Look, I'll do the editing if you can give me accommodation. I can crash on your couch. Where can we exchange value so we can do dope things? And yes, shout out to YouTube and some of the platforms that allow us to monetize. But business people, even people with small businesses. I charge 500 Rand for TikTok shout outs. So let's see how we can innovate. If you've got a small business, you can spare 50 Rand, 100 Rand. Some of you guys on YouTube, of course, are paying members. And that means absolutely everything to us. Because if I can manage to get 1,000 paying members, sending 100 Rand every month, that's 100,000 a month. That's a budget that I can use to pay people, to travel, to work, to pay for an Uber of a guest, to buy food. You know what I mean? So we need you guys. We appreciate you, but we need to find innovative ways. And for me, I realize I'm going to have to try and use cell phones. Our cell phones are actually really good quality. I'm going to try and use cell phones and look for cheats. But this is also maybe an appeal to you guys that are talented out there to be like, guys, reach out to some of us and be willing to ride through the tough times with us. We don't know what we're building. We don't know where this will end. And we don't know what opportunities it will open up for you. But if you have some skills, you can film, you can edit, you can do sound. Let's work. Let's be honest, because I can imagine there are probably some content creators who are going to make a lot of money but want to share the bare minimum with their team. That doesn't help anyone. We're all trying to win. We're all trying to win. Just some thoughts. Looking forward to some of your thoughts, especially if you're a content creator, to share any shortcuts that you found. Maybe share some links to videos with shortcuts, some of your experiences, or if you have skills, this is your chance to drop your links into your skills, drop some of your contacts, and let's see how we can meet up. Maybe I need to organize a McDonald's meeting where we as content creators, we as people that do production, how do we come together and create this network where we can help each other and we share a little bit of money? Because we now know how much is made. We now know, and we can even speak about sponsorships. How do we raise sponsorships? How do we share some of that stuff so that we can all win? Because unfortunately, from a capitalist perspective, a person like myself will want to be dope by myself and make as much money and pay people as little as possible and not share any information. But in the long run, that kind of kills me as well. It doesn't build a great industry, and we don't get to travel the world and be dope. Worst case scenario, I'm going to have to do everything myself, like Joshua Rubin. Kulego Nkeo works with one person, DJ Spoo works with one person, Podcast and Chill, which is old and has been putting in the work and is big. They've got a team at least. Other people work alone. They film, they edit, they do sound, etc. With me, it's me and my cell phone, boy. This is me and a Samsung. There's no sound, there's no microphone, there's no fancy edits, there's no nice writing that you see on the screen. It's just me speaking to a camera using my Wi-Fi on a 150 Rand ring light. Sometimes I get to do good views. So do I carry on with this until I have money? Or can I get kids who are like, Pen, I want to grow with you. Even if I only get 10% of what you're making, it's fine. I want to grow, I want to build, I want to network. I want to do something because I'm currently doing nothing. And it's destroying me. So let's chat. Pen, you all the Black Pen. Have a great and blessed day, and I look forward to your engagements and learning from you as much as some of you learn from me as well. I love you. Cheers.